Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Dark Magician deck profile. So this is actually definitely one of my most favorite decks of all time. Like, one of my favorite decks of all time. I absolutely love the artwork of Dark Magician. He is one of the first cards I ever saw in the game, and I just fell in love with the artwork of this card. Every time I hold this card, I get chills just about, because it's just such a nostalgic card that's been around for so long, and just the artwork, just the original artwork of this card is just crazy cool. Just with being the ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense, it's just so awesome. But this card is definitely one of the best cards in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! As of art-wise and as of lore-wise. So let's get straight into this, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely hit that bell down there so you can become part of the notification squad. And let's get straight on into this. I'm so glad that we can actually form a deck around Dark Magician. That's so cool. Like Red Eyes, Blue Eyes, and Summon Skull. All the monsters that are old school are definitely getting old school, like, new support. This deck just needs like a couple more normal summons, and this deck could definitely be meta. But basically, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Dark Magician first. You just need this card basically as a 3-of to be able to special summon and be able to attack your opponent. It's pretty much it is a vanilla, but it's easy to get out and easy to attack your opponent with, and it's just super, super awesome that you can play this card. Like, oh my god, this card is so cool. Then we play 3 copies of Magician of Chaos, which is kind of like the upgraded form of Dark Magician. Magician of Chaos's effect is that you can special summon this card with Chaos form, but you can also special summon it with Advanced Ritual Art, which is mainly how we're going to be summoning this card. And it has the effect of that once per turn, when a spell or trap or effect is activated, quick effect, you can target a card on the field and destroy it. And this card is Ritual Summon. It is destroyed by battle or by card effect. You can special summon a Chaos or Blackluster Soldier monster, ritual monster from your hand, except another copy of itself, which we don't play another copy of itself. So basically, you're just going to get that one. We don't play another Chaos monster, so you're just going to get that one destruction effect off of it. So that's not that big of a deal, because I'm not that worried about it getting destroyed. I have plays to get it back. But something I will keep in mind, this card does not work with the copy of Dark Burning Magic. It has to be the original aim. I actually did that in a live duel and you guys told me about it, and I do apologize about that. So, moving on, we play 2 copies of Magician of Dark Illusion. I feel like 2 of in this particular build, because you need the ritual fodder with chaos forms and stuff like that, is good. And being able to special summon it during your opponent's turn if you activate a spell or trap, which we played plenty of traps in this deck, so I'm not really that worried about not having what I need. It's just so easy to be able to go into this and be able to just, stop your opponent with a 2,500 defense point monster. And if you activate a spell or trap card while this card is faceable on your field, except during the damage step, you can target a Dark Magician card in your graveyard and special summon it, which is good. But this effect can only be used once while it's on the field, so it just gets you that swarm ability of being able to get additional Dark Magicians on the field. Then we play 1 copy of Dark Magician Girl for the bond between teacher and student play, which is really easy to get off in this deck, because all you have to do is control a Dark Magician, then you can special summon her, and then search additional spell cards to be able to get those plays off. Then I play 3 copies of Apprentice Illusion Magician. I've seen people play 2 of this in the deck, and I'm like, what are you doing? You need 3 copies of Apprentice Illusion Magician, because Apprentice Illusion Magician's effect is that you can discard a card, any card, to special summon her from your hand, and then you get to add a Dark Magician from your deck to your hand, which is awesome to be able to search that Dark Magician from your deck to your hand. And if you have a Dark Spellcaster trap monster battles, you can send this card from your field or your hand to the graveyard to make that Dark Spellcaster type monster go up by 2,000, to make Dark Magician a whopping 4,500, which is big as a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Just giving you guys that nostalgic factor. Definitely give us a like for that one. But then we play for the final 3 monsters is 3 copies of Magician's Rod. I really wish this deck had another normal summon to make this deck a little bit more consistent, because sometimes you run into ability times when you draw into a bunch of cards, and sometimes you brick, which I really quickly want to give a shout out to my buddy Jackson, who just got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! And he's been my friend since I first started college. And I'm super excited to see him play around with Dark Magicians. It's super fun, and he's definitely going to be in a live duel very soon, and I'm excited for you guys to see that, because he plays Dark Magicians, and I want to go up against him with my Red Eyes, which is going to be super fun. So that's it for the main deck monsters. Let's get into the spells, which Dark Magicians, because they are magicians, play a lot of spells in this particular deck. So we play, first off, 3 copies of Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave just stops your opponent hand trapping you, which is a big factor in this deck, that you just don't want to get hand trapped. So you play 3 copies of Call by the Grave. I play one copy of Dark Burning or Dark Magic Attack. Dark Magic Attack is really good in this deck because you want to be able to just blow your opponent's back row and be able to stop them from doing all their crazy little shenanigans. Then we play one copy of Illusion Magic. You basically attribute any spellcaster type monster you control to add from your deck or graveyard to your hand 2 copies of Dark Magician, which is pretty cool as well. Be able to search those double Dark Magicians. Then I play 2 copies of Bond Between Teacher and Student. Bond Between Teacher and Student basically says if you control a Dark Magician, special summon Dark Magician Girl from your deck, which is really cool, from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Then you can set a Dark Magic Attack or Dark Burning Magic. We're not going to search Dark Burning Magic, and we're not going to summon or search Dark Magic Twin Burst. You're going to search Dark Burning Magic or Dark Magic Attack is the only 2 cards that we play, which, speaking of Dark Burning Magic, we're going to play 1 copy of that because it's the OTK maker of the deck. If you control a Dark Magician, or if you control monsters whose original names are Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl, you destroy all cards your opponent controls. So basically, you have to control the Dark Magician and the Dark Magician Girl, the original copies of them, on the field to be able to activate this card, which is super important. I actually misplayed in a previous live duel about that, and I do apologize for you guys who did watch that. So then we play double Eye of Timaeus. Eye of Timaeus is there so we can go into our copies of our fusion monsters, such as Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight, Dark Paladin, and stuff like that, because all you have to do is have a monster that specifically lists Dark Magician as a fusion monster, and then you can use the Dark Magicians on your field to go into your fusion monsters, which is super, super cool. Then we play 3 copies of Dark Magician Circle or Dark Magical Circle. Dark Magical Circle lets you kind of pot a duality your deck. You look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you can either add a Dark Magician or a spell or trap card that specifically lists Dark Magician and add it to your hand. And then every time a Dark Magician is special summoned to your side of the field, you get to banish a card on the field, which is really, really, really cool. Even if you normal summon the Dark Magician, which is very rare to normal summon Dark Magician, you can banish those cards, which is super cool. For the ritual spells, we're going to be playing 1 copy of Chaos Form and 3 copies of Advanced Ritual Art. Advanced Ritual Art's really good for early game to mid game, and Chaos Form is good late game, so that's why we play 1 and 3. And then for the last 3 spells, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Pre-Preparations of Rites, which lets us add a level 7 or lower ritual monster from our deck to our hand, which is our Magician of Chaos, and then add a ritual spell from our graveyard to our hand as well, which is really good to be able to add those additional cards from our deck to our hand and graveyard to our hand to get us pluses, and it essentially lets us go instantly into a Magician of Chaos, which is really, really cool because you get to add this from your deck to your hand, and if you've already summoned one, you get to summon a second one, or get into your hand to use them as fodder. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to be playing just a few traps in this deck, just 6. We're going to be playing 3 copies of Magician's Navigation. Magician's Navigation basically says if you control a Dark Magician, you can special summon a level 7 or higher. You can special summon a Dark Magician monster from your hand, which is just instantly Dark Magician on the field. Like, he just comes right out, and he's like, bam, here I am. And then you can special summon a level 7 or lower Dark Spellcaster type monster from your deck. And if you control Dark Magician, you can banish this card from your graveyard, except a turn it was sent there, to target a face-up spell or trap card your opponent controls and negate the activation, or negate that spell or trap. So if your opponent activates a spell or trap, like Twin Twisters or something like that, you can use this card to negate it because it still is on the field when it resolves, which is pretty cool. Then we play 3 copies of Eternal Soul. Eternal Soul basically lets us special summon Dark Magicians from our hand or graveyard, which is super, super good. I wish there was a better searcher for these. Like Magician's Rod lets us search them, but I wish I had another normal summon to search them because I wish it would make the deck a little bit more consistent. But basically this lets us set either, or lets us add Dark Magic Attack or Thousand Eyes, which you only play Dark Magic Attack, or special summon Dark Magicians from our hand, or graveyard to our side of the field. And every Dark Magician monster in your monster zone is unaffected by your opponent's card effects. And if this face-up card leaves the field, you have to destroy all monsters you control, which Dark Magician of the Dragon Knight kind of makes up for that because he protects them. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So the extra deck is really awesome. So we're going to be playing 1 copy of Dark Magician of the Dragon Knight. Dark Magician of the Dragon Knight basically protects all of our spells and traps that we control, and they cannot be destroyed by opponents' card effects, which is pretty cool. They can't target or destroy them. 1 copy of Dark Paladin, because we can summon this with Eye of Timaeus to be able to get a really big beat stick that can negate spells. Amulet Dragon, I don't make this as much as I used to, but it's still here if I need it. Dark Cavalry is good as well. It gains 100 attack for each spell or trap card on the field and in the graveyards, which it can be really, really, really big. Like later in the game, if you draw Eye of Timaeus and you summon this, it gets huge, like really big for no reason. And if it attacks a defense position monster, it inflicts piercing damage. And when a card or effect is activated that targets a card on the field, you can discard a card to negate the activation if you destroy it, just for targeting. One copy of Dark Magician Girl the Dragon Knight, because Dark Magician Girl the Dragon Knight is really good, and you can summon it extremely easily in this deck. And I'm not too concerned about my extra deck. I can just kind of throw whatever I want in here, because you don't use a heck of a lot of the monsters. Like, you do some, but you want to have the utility of being able to go into these 5 fusions if you want to. One copy of Red Eyes Flare Metal. Red Eyes Flare Metal because of Joey, and you can make this really easily in the deck and be able to burn your opponent for 500 every time they activate an effect. Ebon Illusion Magician is just here because it's probably the best XYZ monster to go into, but you only need this one of. You can detach a material from it to once per turn, detach a material from this card and special summon a spellcaster type normal monster from your hand or deck. So you instantly just detach a material to summon a 3rd Dark Magician. Like if you already had 2 Dark Magicians to overlay into this, you detach it and then grab the other one from your hand or deck and just special summon it. And every time a normal spellcaster type monster battles, you get to banish, you can target a card your opponent controls and banish it. One Ebon High Magician, I don't ever really make this, but it's here just in case I need to. Big Eye because you can take your opponent's monsters. And Noriado because you can make this with your copies of Dark Magician Girl and your copies of Apprentice Illusion Magician, and it's really good. Boral Sword to OTK your opponent. I don't make it that often, but it's there in case I want to. You can play Boral Load if you want to. Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, because it's cool to be able to play this, and it works with level 7 monsters, so we play this at 1. One copy of Nightmare Phoenix to pop spells and traps, one copy of Nightmare Cerberus to pop monsters, and one copy of Wee Witch to be able to boost our dark monsters by 500. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this one. It's a super, super fun deck. It's actually relatively budget, to be honest with you. Dark Magicians are not that expensive anymore because they've reprinted a lot of the cards. The only thing that's kind of expensive, I guess, would be your copies of Eye of Timaeus, maybe, and your copies of Bond Between Teacher and Student, which I think are like 5, maybe a piece-ish. So, and you can always change those out for Keeper of Dragon Souls and not play the Dark Magician Girl engine, which will let you go into fusion plays a little bit more. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.